A very good morning, students. This is your English teacher Benu Sehrawat, and I welcome you all to RTP online classes. So we'll continue with the same lesson, Buddhya, that is lesson number 7, and we have already watched first two parts of the lesson. So today we'll complete the lesson. So I want all of you to open your books at page number 84, and also I would like to remind you to keep your notebook and a pen with you so that you can note down the important points. Alright, so let's start the lesson here. We'll start with the paragraph 2 on page number 84. Mehta ji had been an engine driver for 40 years. Now, who was driving the engine at that time when Buddhya was running? Yes, Mr. Mehta, right? And with one more thing, I would like to draw your attention here. See, here it has been used driver for 40 years, not from 40 years. See, it's a very common mistake that I have seen students commit this mistake, very often. Okay, so it's never from 40 years, rather we use for last 40 years. Okay, all right. He had seen strange things on the tracks. Now, of course, it was a long period of time. All right, 40 years. And of course, in these many years, he had seen many strange things on the tracks, right? There must be many accidents also, and many more things, many tragic things as well. Now, his eyes popped out on seeing the frail frame of a boy running towards the train like a lunatic. Now, his eyes popped out. Now, popped out means something when it just comes up like this. Okay, so when we use this phrasal verb for eyes, okay, when we use this for eyes like pop out, actually our eyes cannot come out. They cannot come out. But when we are extremely surprised, what happens to us? Our eyes, they get widened, right? So that means when pop out means when your eyes widen up in shock like this. All right, so this is the meaning of pop out, right? When your eyes widen up, popped out, in shock. All right, so beta, we can use pop out in other situations as well, like one I have already told you, when you see something which shocks you, right, which surprises you, and the other thing is, suppose right now I am delivering a lesson here, right, and suddenly you have a question in your mind that you want to ask, right? So you may say, ma'am, actually a question has popped out in my mind. Okay, popped out, popped up. So in this situation we will use popped out. Okay, but when you have a question in your mind and you want to ask something, so we'll say a question has popped up in my mind. All right, so this is how you can use it in conversations. It's a good phrasal verb to use, right? So popped out when you see something strange, see something shocking, and popped up when you have something to ask and it just comes in your mind. All right, so yes, Mr. Mehta's eyes popped out on seeing the frail frame. frail. The word frail we have already discussed in last video also. So frail. Frail means weak. Okay, weak, very weak, right? So frail, frame. Frame, I have already told you, the body. Frame has been used for the body, right? So he saw a frail frame of a boy running towards the train like a lunatic. Now what is lunatic? Lunatic means a crazy, mad person. Okay, so we can say it's okay, I know you are in a problem, but relax, it will be under control. Don't behave like a lunatic. Okay, so lunatic means a crazy person. Lunatic, crazy or mad. Alright, so when Mr. Mehta, he saw a boy running towards the engine, of course he thought who this mad person was, right? Because why would somebody do something like this, right? Yes, he pressed on the horn hard. He pressed on the horn hard, and the train blared like thunder, once, twice, thrice. But the boy kept hurtling towards the train with a limp. Alright, the moment Mr. Mehta saw the boy, he just blew the horn, right? And the moment he did that, the train blared like thunder. Blared means it sounded very loudly. Okay, it blared. Blared, sounded. So Mr. Mehta, he pressed the horn thrice, but still Budhya, he kept walking towards the train. And if you notice the word here, the boy kept hurtling. Hurtling means moving quickly. Okay, hurtling means moving quickly. Moving quickly. And he kept moving quickly towards the train with a limp. Now beta, what is a limp? Limp is, suppose you fell down from somewhere. Okay, you fell down from somewhere and then you are not able to walk properly. Of course, because there is pain in your maybe in your knee. Okay, right, there is an injury, so because of which you are not able to walk properly, so you are walking with a limp. What happens when you are injured? You drag your feet because you are not able to stand properly and walk properly. All right, so this was the reason why Budhya was walking with a limp, right? Because of course we already know that his feet, his soles were already, they were all in blood, right? Because of the pebbles which were there on the railway tracks. All right, something was certainly amiss. Now who is thinking like this? Without thinking twice, Mehtaji pulled the brakes hard. Now Mehtaji, he thought, right, that even after, you know, listening to the horn, the boy, he's still, you know, walking towards the train. There is something wrong, amiss. Amiss means wrong. Amiss means wrong. So this is what Mehtaji thought, right? Amiss, wrong. So he was very certain. Certain means to be very sure about something. Okay, he was sure about this thing. So that's why he said, he thought that something was really amiss. So amiss is a good word to add in your vocabulary, beta. So I can say Hey, my dear friend, you look quite sad today. Is something amiss? Okay, is something wrong? Alright, okay, so he pulled the brakes very hard, okay, to stop the train, right? So the steel wheels screeched and dragged along the steel rails for a few more feet before coming to a halt. Now, the moment, see what happens when when a vehicle is at a great speed and suddenly you pull the brake, what will happen? You hear a very harsh sound, okay, that is called screech sound, okay, because suddenly the brakes were pulled, okay, so there was a screeching sound. So screeched means produced a harsh, loud sound, okay, and which is unpleasant to ears, right, and dragged along the steel rail. Of course, now it was at speed and the brakes, they are pulled, so it will drag means if this is the train, right, even if the brakes they have been pulled hard, still it will go like this for a distance, because it was at speed and it will take a few seconds, you know, to come to a complete halt. Halt means stop, okay, halt means stop. Halt means stop. Beta, one more thing here. Here in this sentence, if you see the word halt, it has been used as a noun, but we can use it as a verb also, right? Like we can say our journey was it got halted at this place, okay, we halted the work, we halted the project, so it can be used as a verb also. Okay, now the boy was very close to the engine now, and before Mehtaji could get down to inspect, the panting boy swooned. Now finally the train, it came to a halt, right, it halted, it stopped, and the moment Mehtaji came down to inspect means to know something, to find out something, okay, inspect to find out something, to investigate, to find out something. All right, so he just came down, and the moment he reached there, what did he find? The panting boy. Panting means, when do we pant? Panting is basically when we are very tired, all right, when we are very tired, and suddenly when we stop, we are like this, right, because we are completely exhausted. So this happened with Budhya as well, right, because he had been running, right, so he was panting, so the panting boy swooned. Now swooned means became unconscious, okay, unconscious, when you are not when you are not aware anymore, like what is happening around, you just become unconscious of what's happening, okay, so swooned means became unconscious. All right, so he just fell down, his feet were bloody. All right, now bloody means in blood, okay, in blood. So of course there was the blood, it was oozing out. All right, so and his new shirt, tightly clasped between his fingers, fluttered in the breeze. Now his feet, they were in blood, and his new shirt, of course, because he had removed his shirt, right, and he was just, you know, waving it when he was running. So the same shirt, it was clasped. Clasped means like this is something, if I clasp it, that means now I have clasped it. Okay, that means to hold something tightly in your hands. Okay, clasp means to hold something in your hands tightly, or we can say gripped. Okay, gripped. Clasped means gripped. Okay, so now beta, fluttered in the breeze. Now see beta, flutter word is also used when the birds, they flutter their wings. Okay, they flutter their wings, right? And we can also use it with the flowers, right? The petals were fluttering. So when they go up and down, the movement, up and down movement, that is called fluttering. So we can also use it with birds. Okay, like the bird you know, fluttered its wings and it flew away. So now the shirt Budhya was holding in his hands, it fluttered in the breeze. That means it was going up and down, right? Okay, the driver ran to get some water from the engine. Alright beta, one more thing here I would like to tell you. When we have the, okay, the, the article the, and the word following it, okay, following it means the word which comes after the. If it starts with a vowel, okay, if it starts with a vowel, then we pronounce it as the, not the. Okay, now if you see here, there is the article the, and after that the word is engine, right? That means vowel sound is there, right? So we'll not pronounce it as the, instead we'll pronounce it as the engine. All right. So the driver ran to get some water from the engine and sprinkled it on the boy's face. Now the driver, he was also, you know, he was worried at that time, and then he just went and brought some water and he sprinkled on the boy's face. Sprinkle is beta, when we scatter a few droplets of water. Okay, okay, not the whole water, but few droplets like this. That is called sprinkle. So sprinkle is scatter, to scatter something. Now Budhya opened his eyes. There is a crack on one of the steel rails, he said. Can you imagine? I mean, how brave this boy is. The moment he opened his eyes, he just spoke this sentence. There is a you know, there is a crack on the tracks. All right, he just spoke this sentence, right? Where Mehtaji choked. Okay, so choked means when you become unable to breathe. Okay, and here in this situation, when we see choke word beta, it can also be used in different situations. Like here, when Mehtaji choked, that is because of the shocking news. Okay, I mean, this was very shocking for Mehtaji to know that there is a that there was a crack, there was a split, right? So that which made him choke, right? Another thing is, when if you are, you know, eating something very quickly and it gets accumulated here in the food pipe, so what will happen? You will choke, right? And you will cough, right? You'll start coughing at that time. So in both the situations we can use choke. So it made Mehtaji really shocked. Come, I'll take you, Budhya replied, lifting himself on his feet. So now the moment Mr. Mehta asked him that, where the split was, Budhya, he just got up and he said, come, I'll take you to the spot. Can you walk? Your feet are all bloody, said Mehtaji. And then Mehtaji was even more surprised when he saw him walk, right? And he said, look at your condition, boy. Can you still walk, right? So, I'll manage, Budhya replied. What does this thing show about Budhya's character? What does this thing show? Beta, it shows that he was aware. He was an aware child. Who is aware? Who knows, what can be the consequences? What can be the results of something? So he knew that he knew that there was a split, and he knew that how important it was to mend that thing and to control, to take the control over the situation. So it was very important, and this boy realized this thing, right? So he is not a selfish person who is only who only thinks about himself. So he was a quite sensible child, right? So he still managed to walk. The two trudged along the railway track. Trudged means walked slowly, okay? Trudged means walked slowly. So they started walking towards the split. They did not have to walk too far before the gaping crack was discovered, and it took very less time to reach the spot. Then Mehtaji was stunned. Stunned means shocked. Okay, stunned means shocked. Shocked. This is a good word, and we quite frequently use this word. So he was stunned. Stunned means he was surprised, right? So it is used when something extraordinary, right? Like something you find extremely beautiful, or something which is quite upsetting. Okay, so when you are in shock, okay, or when you are in in amazement, like wow, right? So in both the cases we can use this. For example, one situation we have already seen here, that Mr. Mehta was in shock, right? He saw something which was not at all good, right? But we can also say, like, we saw a performance, and it was exceptionally, it was performed exceptionally well. So we can say everybody was stunned to see the performance, right? Okay, so this boy was sent by God today. Mehtaji mulled. Now, mulled means thought carefully, okay? Mulled. Thought carefully. Now Mehtaji was thinking during all this time that this boy has been sent by God. Why do you think so? He spoke this sentence. Why do you think so? Beta, see, of course, because it seemed like a blessing to Mehtaji, not only Mehtaji, but so many people who were there on board, who were there on the train, right? Because see, just imagine if Budhya had not done what he did, I mean, it would have killed many people, right? And I mean, just imagine the situation, the tragedy. There could have been a horrible accident, right? In which many people, they would have lost their lives. But it was Buddha's presence of mind and his courage, his smart. It was time to call his station, right? Of course, then Mr. Mehta, he called the concerned people, right, who were to, you know, mend the railway tracks, right? So he informed all the concerned persons. Then that night Ramu came to visit Budhya. Now what do you think? Now why has Ramu has come to visit Budhya? Is it about the mischief which was done by Budhya in the morning, right? So let's find out that. As Budhya lay on a cot with his head on his mother's lap and feet all swollen and bandaged, okay? So now what happened? When he came there, what was Budhya doing at that time? He lay. That means he was resting. Okay? Lay means rested. Okay? Lie, lay. L-A-Y. Lie. It means he rested. Okay? On a cot. Cot means bed. Bed. So he was he rested on a bed and with his head on his mother's lap. So he was you know, resting, he was relaxing in his mother's lap at that time, and he was quite comfortable at that time because he was pain, so he wanted comfort. So that is the reason he was lying in his mother's lap, and his feet were all swollen. Swollen is when something, suppose like I hit something on my hand, okay, by mistake I hit something on my hand. So what happens? It will be, I mean, it will raise like this, okay, the size will increase. Why? Because of the swelling. Okay, so when there is swelling in my hand, when there is swelling in my hand, I will say my hand is swollen, right? And his feet were bandaged, properly bandaged, because it was all, his feet were all hurt when he was walking. Then Maya implored. Maya is Budhya's mother. So implored means begged. Okay, begged. So implored. Now we can say that when the police arrested the thief, he implored. Okay, he implored and promised not to repeat it in future. Okay, so implored means begged, right? So Maya implored, please spare my son. Okay, please spare my son. Spare means to leave. Okay, it doesn't mean to leave from somewhere. It doesn't mean to leave from somewhere. Rather, it means suppose somebody has done something wrong, all right, and now he is caught. So he will say, please don't beat me, please spare me, let me go. So it is that to leave, right? So Budhya's mother, she requested, see, please don't beat my son now, please leave him. Okay, Ramu Bhaiya, he will never do such mischief again. Mischief means misbehavior. Okay, mischief means misbehavior. So Budhya's mother, she was requesting Ramu to spare his son, and she also assured him that he would never repeat this thing again, right? Now with a mischief also, I mean, it can be easily used in daily conversations. Like I'll give you one example here. Like I can say, see boys, you need to change your behavior. This mischief will not be tolerated in school premises, right? Okay. Now, I have heard what he did to you in the morning. So, of course, Maya knew about everything. So, his father doesn't stay with us anymore. He comes to give us money sometimes, and that is not enough. Budhya has to work in the stone crusher plant 3 days a week to help me raise him and make my home. Now, so she was just telling how hard the life is for two of them, right? So she was just telling everything, that it's very, I mean, the life is already harsh to us. So please leave us alone now and don't beat him. He would never do anything like this again, right? So, and he also told, she also told that he works at, I mean, at this tender age. Tender means small age. He used to work also, right? For 3 days in a week, right? Look at his hands. They have lost their tenderness. Now, tenderness means softness. Tenderness, softness. Of course, because he works in a plant where he needs to crush the stones, right? So, of course, his hands, they are not soft anymore. Like right, like other children of his age have. That softness is not there on his hands. So, I work as a housemaid in the staff quarters, don't you? So she's telling her miseries, okay? And here, beta, you see the sentence. It has been used in question tag form, right? And we also know it as rhetorical questions. We know them as rhetorical questions, in which we know that the other person already knows the answer, but still we speak it to lay emphasis. Okay? So, I accept that he is a bit too naughty and out of control. So, she accepts that, her son was naughty, right? I'm trying to mend things. Mend means change. So, what things she is trying to change? She is trying to change Budhya's behavior. Alright? So, mend means change. I already, I think 5 minutes back, I used this word in the sentence also. Boys, you need to mend your behavior. Right? Mend means change. Okay? Now, but it's difficult to manage things alone. Maya sobbed. Now she is saying, see, his father is not here and I'm the only person. And of course, my child is also helping me, right? He also contributes. And this is how our life is going on, right? And then while saying this, she started crying. She wept. Sobbed means wept. I came to tell him that the mango tree belongs to him now on. Wow, such a great news. So, here we get to know that Ramu, he did not go there to, to scold the child. Rather, he went there to tell this thing that the mango tree belonged to him. Alright? Now on means from now, from today. This is the least I can do for him. This is the least. Least means smallest. Least means smallest. Smallest. So he said this is the smallest thing I can do for him. What he did today was precious. Many lives were saved. One doesn't get to see such bravery from a little boy every day. Now, okay, so this is the reason why there was change in Ramu's attitude also, right? So he got to know about the whole thing, right? And what Budhya had done earlier that day, right? And how did he save so many, how had he saved so many lives? So he was praising him, right, for whatever he did. And according to him, Budhya was a very brave boy, right? And Mehta ji and I had a chat today. I had a chat means we had a conversation today. So I think the railway company is going to take care of his schooling from now on. What a beautiful thing. Now, icing on the cake. Icing on the cake, we use this idiom beta when we are saying, right, something good has already happened, okay, something good has already happened, but then after 5 minutes another good news comes to us, okay, so that is icing on the cake, okay. So it was like icing on the cake. I mean, the mango tree now belonged to Budhya, and the second good thing was that the railway company, it thought to endorse for his schooling, right? It thought that, we will take care of his schooling and education now onwards. Be ready to send him to school. If you need anything for the books and uniforms, please let me know. Alright? And he further, extended help to his mother. Still, if you need any help, I am there and you can always approach me, right? So, what a beautiful ending of this lesson. Did you like the lesson? Very good. I love the lesson, and we, beta, there is a great message in this lesson. I mean, it doesn't matter what your age is, okay? What matters is how courageous you are, how brave you are, how sensible you are, how compassionate you are, okay? So this is the theme of the lesson. So I hope you all loved the lesson and you have also understood the lesson. Still, if you have any doubt, please ask me. Thank you so much.